YouTube, welcome to Outdoors Addiction. Today is February 12th, 2018, and it's about 14 degrees out here. The wind's probably about 5 miles an hour. It's not that bad. The wind chill is probably about 6, and it's not that bad. And I thought I would bring you guys a video about the basic equipment. At least in my opinion, I think what you need to go ice fishing. I was just out here wasting a little bit of time making a fire, starting up the fire pit. There's no better time to start up a fire outside than in winter time. It smells great, it feels great, and I don't know what other words to put it. It just smells good. It gives you a good feeling, I guess. But I want to show you some basic equipment that you need for some winter ice fishing. Stay tuned. Okay guys, the first thing here is the ice auger. This is what makes your holes. This is a 7-inch Strike Master ice auger by Mora. And if you're familiar with their knives, and this is the only reason I bought it. This is the reason that I bought it, because I'm into knives, and I know that the Swedish company in Sweden that makes knives makes very sharp, durable knives, and they're fairly inexpensive, I think. If you ever have time, look up or Google Mora knives. They're very good knives. They have a nice, they're very sharp blades, and they're good for bushcrafting and everything. But that's totally another video. Here, like I said, is a Strike Master ice auger, 7-inch, and this is probably the most important thing that you need to go ice fishing, because you need something to drill the hose. Now, there's more expensive ones. There's gas ones and battery operated ones, I guess, drills. You can use a drill now, but this is the way I prefer to, because this won't fail you unless your blades aren't sharp. But a gas auger can fail you. The battery operated, if it's too cold, sometimes those freeze up. And this is just the way I prefer to go. Is the hand auger. Next is the good old ice scoop. Unless you want to do it with your hands, which I don't suggest, unless you're in a shanty with a heater of some sort. But if you're just out without a shanty and you want to scoop the ice or the snow that's falling in your hole after drilling it with your auger, I feel sorry for your fingers, because they're going to get frostbitten depending how cold it is, and it's going to hurt. There's a point where it hurts so bad that the feeling in your fingers, you just don't feel it no more. And I don't suggest that. I've done it before, and I'm talking from experience. But this is one thing that I think is it's a very important piece in ice fishing, is the ice scoop. You want to scoop the ice out with those instead of your hand, and I think that's a very important item that you need for ice fishing. Next here is the ice picks. This is for just in case you fall in. I hope none of you ever experience that. It feels really bad. I've actually fell into some ice. It wasn't that deep. It was probably about 3 feet, 4 feet. And the feeling, it just sucks. That's just the way I'm going to explain it. It sucks. I didn't need no ice picks at the time, but if it was deeper, just say 7, 8 feet, 9 feet or more, then yeah, I would have needed those ice picks. And if I wouldn't have had them, then I wouldn't know what to do, because you need those to pull yourself out. There's some people that know how to get themselves out of that situation. I hope it doesn't ever happen to anybody. Here's a closer look at the ice picks. Each pick goes in those holes, and you just put it around your neck. Something very simple, something fairly inexpensive that you can buy, and that can potentially save your life. That's something, another, this is a very important one, even though it's nothing too big, nothing too expensive. They're about $5 or $6. Okay, next is the obvious, is the fishing pole and the reels themselves. The ones I have here laying down on the snow is a Frabill ultralight with 2-pound line, and it has a tungsten jig on it. It's like a green color. And the other one's a Celsius. I got 4-pound line on there. That's a medium action. And both, you can find both of these at Walmart. The Frabill's about $15, and the Celsius was around $20. The Frabill did come with pre-spooled line, but not the best line. It just actually, I tied a jig on it, tossed it in my basement, and it just, no, the line that comes with it is just junk. So I re-spooled it with some better line, and that Celsius didn't come with none at all. That was $20, like I said, and I bought some line for that one too. So I spooled them both myself, and they're working pretty good. The Frabill is an ultralight action, and the Celsius is a medium action. And they're, I want to say one's a 24-inch and the other one's 26-inch. There's a variety of different sizes and different actions and things like that, different brands. But these are the ones that I bought recently, not too long ago. And next here, guys, I got the good old 5-gallon bucket. There's too many things to mention about a 5-gallon bucket because there's so much. There's so many multi-uses for the 5-gallon bucket. It's not even funny. And all you have to do is search on YouTube, and you'll find different uses for different things, not just fishing. But this is one thing that I think is a necessity in the basics of ice fishing, is the 5-gallon bucket. You can, excuse me, guys. You can put actually, I had one with some pole holders around it that I showed in other videos that holds my poles on the outside. But I recently found these HT inside the bucket holders that I bought. And here, let me get the one that I just bought. And these, it's an awesome product, guys. I found this one at I found it at Farm and Fleet. It's a Bucket Master. It says storage organizer. Keep your rods tangle free. And I don't know if you guys can see that right at the corner. It goes inside of the bucket, as shown in like the one that I have. It's a pretty awesome product by HT. There we go. And that's another necessity. Have your rods and reels organized so they don't get all tangled up, because if you just throw them in there, I can almost guarantee you that you're gonna have a bunch of tangles and stuff like that, and that just it's just frustration, I think, for the fisherman that's doing that. I have another video where I have some rod holders on the outside. Check that video out if you guys want. I'll probably leave the link down below in the description. And yeah, the 5-gallon bucket. I would buy one. I actually got about 10 of them for different uses, not just for fishing, but that's a necessity for ice fishing, guys. Okay, next, guys, is just assortment of jigs. These are tungsten jigs that I use. I got a lot more inside the house. It's just, this is the one that I grabbed in a hurry just to do this video. Then on the other side, I don't know if you guys can see that. The sun's really bright, guys. If you guys can't see it, I'm sorry. This is actually a very awesome ice fishing jig holder. It's by Eagle Claw. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. By Wright and McGill. It's an awesome jig holder. I absolutely love this thing. Over here, I got some cheaper jigs. They're not tungsten ones. These are actually glow in the dark. I think the whole row on top, that one. You can see the ones that are for glowing. I hope this thing is focusing. It's really hard to see out here. I'm out and the sun's really bright, and with the snow on the ground, it's really hard to see this camera. But I hope you guys get a view of that. This is upside down. Awesome product right here. I think it was about $7. Next here, guys, is the hemostat pliers, the hook remover. Now that went in the package I just got. Got it on sale for about $2. You can also, I guess they call them hemostats. Stainless steel construction. And this is a big necessity to get the hooks out, since we're using little jigs, little hooks. Sometimes it's really hard to get the hook out depending on the size of the fish, or the mouth of the fish, I guess, if you will. But a big necessity for ice fishing. I mean, there's different sizes. Just gotta look in stores, look online. They're fairly inexpensive, guys. Next here, I got this tape measure. This is something I use yearly. During the summer, during the winter, if you're gonna be taking fish home, you gotta measure them and follow the laws. They gotta be within the state regulations, I guess. You don't want to be caught fishing and taking fish home that ain't up to size and ain't up to weight. So you gotta measure your fish. And over here, I got a Rapala. This I've used for catfish, bass, and whatnot. It goes up to 50 pounds. It's a digital scale. And this is another necessity, guys. If you're gonna be taking fish home, gotta measure your fish and gotta weigh them. Otherwise, if you get caught by DNR, or you're gonna get a nice ticket, and you don't want to pay a ticket like that. They can get fairly expensive. So there's that. Another necessity for fishing. Next that I have here, guys, is your bait. For ice fishing, what I use basically every ice fishing season is wax worms and some minnows. I don't know what else to put it. You're gonna need a little fish net for the minnows. For your, got this here that I bought at Walmart, and that's what I keep my my wax worms in. I mean, you can use the container that it comes in, but I just bought this. I found it on sale for $1, so I pulled the trigger on that. Here's your basic net. Just a net that you're gonna need. Scoop out those minnows. There's your I don't know if it's gonna focus or not. Your basic wax worm. It's a great bait to catch a variety of fish, from panfish to bass. I've seen even pike go after the minnows. The minnows are a great bait, but I heard hot dogs are a great bait for pike. I've never caught any off of hot dogs. I've tried it over and over and over, never caught any pike on any hot dog. Not on tip-ups, not on my pole, nothing at all. The next thing, guys, is some hot hands, toe warmers, hot hand body warmers of anything, like any sort. Your hands, your feet. There's a bunch of these out. There's some that goes in your boots like a sole, and it keeps your feet pretty damn warm. Now, if you're over here in northern Illinois, it gets pretty cold. It could get cold, or like this past January, it was actually kind of warm. There was only a few times that I actually needed some of these. But don't leave these behind. Never leave these behind, because they can do wonders. It could warm up your feet, your fingertips, your toe tips, whatever it is. It will warm you up. It's a constant heat of 8 hours, up to 8 hours. Not bad for what it is. It's about $5 per pack. And I wouldn't go out on the ice without this, because if you're standing on the ice, eventually, I don't care what kind of boots you got, how much you paid for them, eventually your toes are going to get cold if you're standing on the ice in the snow. So this is a good thing to put in your boots. You're not going to lose anything by putting some in your boots, guys. Next here, this is what I use, another product that I use all season long. And this is what I call my bait knife. It's a fixed blade knife by Baco. And the cool thing about this, I don't know if you guys can see that, it has a fish picture. It's kind of wearing off. And just like my auger, this knife here is made by the Mora company. I don't know if you guys can actually, if it's going to zoom in on that or not. Baco, made in Sweden.